Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's September 15th, 2023, and we've had rain just about every day for the last week, I think. So I haven't been doing much earthworks over here where I dug the pond or over on the new property. I did do some during some rain, but boy, everything's just so saturated, it's a real challenge. So I'll show you what I'm thinking here. Okay, I'm getting used to the new gimbal on this camera here. So here we are in the wooded area where I dug the pond a week ago. And although we've had rain, we haven't had a lot of rain. But I was able to come over. This pile right here was about twice the size that it is, and it was right up against this pile of topsoil. And I smoothed out this area, trying to bring the ground level back up. I still have a lot of work to do, but it's so wet up here. It's a mess. There was a large pile here in between these trees here from digging out the pond. And I used Elon to go ahead and move it and set it over here, take the stuff that was here, set it there, use the Hulk to take some of that out and put it on different spots of the property. And I brought some soil out in here, smoothed out some soil over there. I have a lot more to do over in those areas. I've got flags over there. There is some water in the pond, as you can see. And some frogs jumping around in there. I've got more work to do on the roadway along the property boundary there, but it's still too wet over there for me to get on it today. My thought is, one of the things I want to do today is get this pile moved and maybe some of that pile over there moved. That one I didn't move yet. Try to get as much of that out of here and that out of here and fill in some of the spots that are in need. And then I've got lots of firming up and smoothing out to do and getting the dirt away from the base of the trees. We don't want this like the volcano mounding, mulching of what people do around their trees. We want to get all that away from it so we don't kill these trees that we've worked so hard to keep them here. But that's what I'm going to do today. I won't be shooting any video of it, but you can see just from me walking here now, it's really soft in some of these places. Can imagine what a few ton piece of equipment will do to the ground. Still lots of water here in the ground. And I'll really be tearing up some of the lawn, bringing the soil over in these locations. I did take a couple of scoops and put them over here. I'll make a mess before it's better. And I placed some flags up in some of the low spots up in here that I've got to work on. So we'll see how much of this. I may end up aborting this mission, but there's all of these. Here's a stump right here that I chopped off with a brush mower. It's a cherry tree there. Trying to get used to using this new gimbal. There, I got it turned around. So I'm going to be sorry about how long it takes me with the camera here, getting used to this new gimbal. I'm going to work on this, and if I am successful, I'll show you an after at some point of what I've gotten accomplished. When the ground is this wet, you don't want to overdo it, but winter's coming pretty quickly here, and my thoughts are, if I've got an opportunity here to move some of this soil and I don't make too much of a mess, then all the better. So we'll see what I get accomplished. I figured out how to turn this off. Okay, well, I got some things accomplished. I was able to move the piles of the soil that we had mounded up in the various spots here. A lot of it's still very, very wet, but I filled in areas in different parts of the forest and around the margins that were low, and covering up the low spots with stumps that were sticking up so that they can just decompose underneath the surface. Get up over here. So there was a large pile there. I may end up excavating more of the soil where the spillway will go, which is right over here, and that'll go down towards Pond 3, down in that direction. But I was able to take a lot of the fill and fill in the lower spots so there's less undulation, it's more smooth with a gentle slope going down. I removed the piles that were here. There were 2 piles here, one there and one there. This is still extremely wet, this area here. So hopefully the next few days are going to be dry, and then I'll be able to smooth this out and track it in so that if rain does come down in here, it can just taper right down and head towards Pond 3. But that worked out pretty well. I still have one small pile over here that I've got to remove, but I've been filling in the lower spots around in here. And again, after things dry up some, I'll try and smooth things out a bit more, because as I track through the area, I'm just creating cavities in the soil. I came in here and removed a lot of the trees that were down in this area. There's still more to be done. And I took down a couple of dead ones as well. And over here I did quite a bit. Now there's still some more dead trees standing, but I wanted to create a little pathway that I can get through here. I got to do some pruning of the branches here and get to this roadway here. So maybe tomorrow I can smooth out the lumps in here, fill in the low spots, do a little bit of a pitch towards the pond, clean some more up in here potentially. You can see this is all fresh with me pulling out the roots of many of the trees that were chopped off, and some of the dead ones. I still have more to get out, but there's still a lot of upper branches here that I've got to prune off that are getting tangled in the equipment, but it's opening up the area a little bit more and taking out all of the young ash trees in this area here, because they're just going to be succumb to the emerald ash boring insect again. So we'll put oaks, and I mean in this area we'll probably put a couple of persimmons in here, maybe a pawpaw or two, some chestnuts. I just don't want to put nuts on the property line other than oaks and all. It might disturb the neighbors. And here's one of the piles. There's a few piles that I created from some of the debris that I picked up in here. I've got some, so there was a hanger that was hanging down in here that was sitting on this other trunk right here. So that one I've got to get out. Interesting enough, a couple of years ago, this spruce here at the top of one of the ash trees that I already moved out, it snapped off the top there, and you can see 2 central leaders there. So I'll have to prune off one of those central leaders right there, and then also prune some of these lower branches here, similar to what I did up with the spruce at the top of the property. And this one can come back and do well. I pulled out a couple more. This one was completely overcased with the dead trees and the grapevines above it. So I moved those out and around it, so this one can open up now and it'll get some more sunlight. So that's how things look at this point. So don't know how much you can appreciate what it looks like, and I've got to get used to using this new gimbal on this camera. But I'm pretty happy with what I got accomplished today. Just want to get this before the winter comes. There's so much pooling happens, and it'll be until summer if I don't get this smoothed out some and get this earth moved. So real happy I was able to get a lot of it removed. These piles here I'll have to cut up a little bit. Got some good sized trees in there, and get over to the hugelkultur pit. So that's it for today's video, folks. I hope it was somewhat entertaining. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And by all means, folks, stay safe and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.